Hey guys, welcome back to Bombay Talks. Today, me and Jerry will be continuing with our three-part series in our team season review. Let's just dive right into our midfielders for the season. It's time to talk about our midfielders today. So we'll just start off with let's just say Brahim. Brahim and James. Those two guys haven't had too much time on the pitch. But so let's just take them together because they didn't get much of a chance to prove themselves. So, what's your take on James and Brian's performances and also their future at the club?
I think Brahim does have a future in the club because he's still young. For James, I cannot say the same because we got him from loan this season again, and Zidane did not give him much playing time again this season. He just scored one goal against Granada, and I don't see like any more like or don't remember any more of his highlights of the season. He's still young, so yes, he does have a future at the club, but he needs to fight for his place.
True. And also, we've seen Brahim deployed a lot more at the right wing rather than what he's usually, played like as an attacking midfielder. So, do you think that in the future potentially he just adapt into that right winger role?
Yeah, definitely. He can adapt to the right wing role, and I hope he does because, uh, of course, the right wing position right now is a bit in danger, which we will be talking about it in the next session. So let's
Yeah.
not go there right now. But yeah, he has a potential for upcoming right winger.
Okay. If you had to rate James and Brahim both on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give them?
I'll give both of them 4.5, 4.5.
Okay. Considering they've not played much, like barely any game time this season, that
Yeah.
is fair evaluation, I'd say. 4.55 in my opinion also is
Yeah.
suffice enough. So moving on to Isco. Isco now someone, this is a guy fans have a very mixed opinions about. There we have one set who just call for him to be sold, and there's another who think that he's still a vital player. I mean, he doesn't demand much of in all his time at Madrid here. He's always delivered whatever the coach has asked him to. Even this season, whenever Zidane called upon him, he without a fuss came out on the pitch and played every game. And of course, he's had a mixed season. Of course, it was not the best of his seasons at Madrid, this last one, but he's had some very incredible performance, especially that last game of the season in La Liga against Leganes. He scored two goals, and also, in my opinion, he had a very good game in the first leg against Manchester City.
Yeah, of course, and plus he was the one who scored against Manchester City in the first leg.
Yeah,
But as you said, it was not one of the best of his season because if you compare him to 2016-17 season Isco and
yeah.
like 2019-20 season Isco, it has a huge and vast difference between them. And I just did not see that old Isco who used to be such a vital part of Zidane's squad. Like when Zidane came in last season after Solari got sacked, I thought Isco would get more chance, like this in this coming season, he would get more chance, but we did not see enough of him. But yeah, as you said, he did. Like whenever he was asked from Zidane to come to the pitch, he did, and he did deliver a good performance. Yeah, for me, the best Isco performance was the Manchester City the first leg.
Definitely. I mean, even I agree here. Again, he's not had, of course, most chances like the 16-17 season because of one particular man who actually came up this season. That is Federico Valverde. Valverde is the guy who's actually taken up the space in the starting 11 this season. He's the one who's getting more chances. So we'll talk about this guy for a minute here. Valverde, he's obviously had a breakout season in 1920. What do you think about his future potential at the club?
I mean, he does have a really bright future in this club. I definitely see a bright future in Federico Valverde because this season, for me in the midfield, Federico Valverde just won my heart. I mean, of course, you remember the last minute tackle against Alvaro Morata in the
Yeah,
Supercopa
true.
de España, and I mean that was a tackle that won us the cup. I mean,
Exactly.
I know it was dirty. I know it was dirty, but he had to do it. I mean, like if he did not do it, we would probably consider and lose the match in last minute. So he did what he had to do. He took one for the team. But yeah, but post lockdown, I thought his form was dipped a bit. I mean, that is a bit understandable because there was a big, huge break in between.
Yeah,
So we could not see that Federico Valverde like which we saw before the lockdown. But still, yeah, I mean, he had a good season. He had a good uh, performance in the midfield, and of course, he was the midfield for us. So yeah, I mean, for me, he was the one of the best player in midfield.
definitely. And what do you think about his performance throughout the season?
Performance was amazing, especially against Barcelona in both of the matches, in both of the Clásicos. He was brilliant.
As you mentioned earlier, this season for Valverde was basically like a season of two halves. Like we saw him in the first half. He was in the first half. He was at his absolute best. Like it was like he just burst onto the scene. He was running up and down the pitch. Basically he was tireless. He could be at one end of the pitch defending, and in the next 25 to 30 seconds, he'd be at the other end. Creating an
Yeah,
attack. So I think
yeah.
that is what I love about Valverde. But then again, like you said, that in a post lockdown he did have a dip in his form, but that's okay. We all know that kind of stuff always happens. We can just hope coming next season he can come back to his best or even much better than that at the start of this next season.
And let's not forget the assist to Luka Modric which he made against Getafe. Yeah, it was against
Mm,
Getafe. The run
yeah,
that he made and just crosses the ball to Luka Modric and
true.
bang! It was a simple tap in for him. But the run that he made, I mean, it was amazing. For
Definitely. I
me,
mean,
that was one of the best moments, like the highlight for me for Federico Valverde in the whole season.
for sure. I mean, Valverde, that is his like we've not actually had a player like him, in a very long time. You can who has this kind of pace in him to, just run and create attacks. Especially a box to box player like him is a very important man when we have players like Cruz and Modric already aging. So going into the new era, I think he's going to be one of our mainstays of the midfield.
Yeah, definitely is going to be. And let's not forget, like most of our midfielders are on loan too. Our
Yeah,
young midfielders are
true,
on loan, and they are
true,
about to come back to the club again.
definitely.
For example, there's Martin Odegaard, there's Dani Ceballos. So there's a lot of talent that holds us in the future. So let's just hope for the best.
Okay. And if you had to rate him on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think? Where do you think his performance lies?
I'll give him a solid 8.
Yeah,
I'll give him a
definitely.
solid 8 because, as I
I mean,
said, post lockdown, his performance got bit dipped, but that's okay. 8 is fair enough for him.
considering the whole season and especially that Spanish Super Cup final against Atletico, I think that is a very deserving rating for him. Moving on to who I think is one of the most important players in our squad at this very moment right now, Casemiro. Now, this man has been absolutely consistent throughout the last
Yeah,
5 years. I mean, of course, there may be other players who have had, peaked and dipped as well in a matter of 2 to 3 seasons. But this man has always stayed consistent. Of course, he does make an error here and there, but overall, throughout the season, when you look at the whole picture, he has been like, one of the most consistent players in the entire league, if I say so.
yeah, definitely has been the most consistent, and it's not just like since 1 or 2 seasons. This is happening since last 5 years. I
Yeah.
mean, I guess he came back from loan from Porto in 2015, and since then he's playing on like he played under Rafa Benitez, and then Zidane came over, and like Zidane knew, okay, I have a beast in my squad here. Like if I use him, he's going to make me win trophies. At least in defensive wise, he's going to make us win trophies, and that's what he did.
True,
I
true,
mean,
definitely.
last session we talked about like how Varane stays behind. with Varane, there's one more guy who stays behind, and that is Casemiro, because he
Exactly.
is a very defensive minded, and apart from being defensive minded, he even scores goals. I mean, again, this season he scored like 3 goals and he has 3 assists.
Yeah,
And like he scored against Sevilla, and of course last season also remember his bang against Sevilla. So yeah, Casemiro has been one of the most consistent midfielder in our team.
definitely. So he's actually had, multitude of amazing performances throughout the season that, actually makes us believe that him and Ramos combined together are the rocks of our, entire defense, actually the entire team's defense, if I say so. They are the ones who don't, actually even allow a single player to pass through in most of the scenarios.
Yeah, I think it's Ramos and Casemiro. Like these two players are the ones who balance our defense pretty well, because they know. I mean, there's a good coordination between both of these players, and they know what they have to do in such situations. Like if a player is pacey, or if a player is more tactical, or like whatever it is, they know how to tackle him, or get through that player. So I think that is the most important factor in defense, and that's what Casemiro and Ramos both have been providing us. And I think that's the reason we won the league this year. I think it's
Yeah.
because of those two guys.
Yeah, and it is fair to say that Casemiro has been one of the best players in our entire squad throughout the season. And of course, there's Ramos, there's Karim Benzema, and there's Casemiro. I feel, of course, there's also Courtois, but I feel Casemiro does find a way into the top three this season because it's just because of how consistent he is.
Yeah, definitely it has to. Like if I make a list, it has to be Sergio Ramos, then Karim Benzema, and then Casemiro. Like, yes, Courtois did perform well, but of course his defense was good too this season.
True.
I do
So
give him credit, but of course the defense is also important in it.
yeah, and if you had to rate him, would it be a solid 10 just like Ramos?
Yes, I'll give Casemiro a solid 10. Definitely a solid 10.
Amazing. So we now have two players in our squad who have got that, proper 10 on
No,
10.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Now moving on to, two of the, I guess, the biggest midfielders in the Europe's top five leagues, I say. There's Modric and there's Kroos. Let's just talk about Modric first for you right now. Modric, he's aging. He's 35 now, and we know he doesn't have much time. But Zidane, I feel, has used him superbly throughout the season. Constantly rotating him and Valverde. I mean, and bringing him on at clutch moments, like subbing him on at 60th or 65th minute whenever he's on the bench.
I think Zidane used to bring him on in such a crucial times, because he knew of course, as you said, Modric is aging, cannot play much, but of course he can play like 30 to 25 minutes easily. He has that much of stamina. And when he comes into the game, there is an extra experience into the game, because of course Modric has a lot of experience, and plus he has been playing with us since like 7 to 8 seasons now, I guess. Since
Yeah,
2012, he has been playing with us. So and plus he knows the spot well. So like Zidane knows, like if I bring him in this situation, he'll find a way out. Like even if we're trailing, or if we are drawing the match, Zidane puts his confidence in Luka Modric and be like, okay, you're the experienced guy. You need to go in and make a change.
exactly. And just like Casemiro, I feel even this guy has been very consistent throughout the season. I mean, he's had games against teams like Barcelona, the home game against Barcelona. There's Valencia. There's also Getafe again. Those games, I feel he was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, but and let's not forget he got the red card in the very first match of the season against Celta de Vigo, but that's fine.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a part of the game. He plays with Ramos. He has to get a suspension, of course. No,
true.
jokes apart, but yeah, no, I feel even he has been consistent, because, as I said, his experience with the team, his experience throughout his career. So he knows the team well. He knows what he has to do and what he not has to do. So I think yeah, he has been consistent, and he does not have a lot of time to play with us. Max is there. a season or so with, or like a couple of seasons more, and then I don't think so he'll play much. But yeah, he has been a very valuable player for Madrid, and of course he'll be a Madrid legend as well.
Yeah, and again, what is your take on his performance throughout the season?
I'll give him a seven. I'll give him Modric a seven.
I'd be a little more generous and I'd give him a 8 just because of his experience and how much it has helped us this season. I mean, if it was not for him, there were definitely some games where it was his creativity that actually helped us, get out of tough spots. So I'd be a little more generous and I'd give him a 8 on 10, which I feel it is deserving as well.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
And moving on to Cruz now, Tony Cruz. Now, this man, actually had a pretty unforgettable season last year during the 18-19 campaign. And he actually, I'm not sure if many of you all have read it, but he actually vowed to improve and come back even better this season. And he's actually done it. I am actually very happy the way this season has turned out for him.
And yeah, as you said, he made a brilliant comeback. Actually, he made a brilliant comeback in the first game itself.
So,
The way he scored the first goal of the season against Celta de Vigo, it was a banger. It was a classic goal. I mean, he was like just like boom, and they was like shut up. To all the haters, to all the critics, he was like shut up. I'm back. I'm back in business.
exactly.
And yeah, and yeah, of course, even in big matches, he did perform really well. And let's not forget that assist that he gave to
Vinicius, yeah,
Vinicius Junior. Let's not forget that. I mean, he was the one who created the goal. He was the
definitely.
one who gave us the lead. That ball through to Vinicius Junior was like that was the one that won us that Clasico.
That assist to Vinicius Junior and this goal against Celta Vigo, I feel were like the highlight reels of the Toni Kroos season. Now, coming to his performance,
I'll give Toni Kroos a solid 9 here because, as you said, that even last season he had a pretty bad season. I mean, 2018-19 season was not good enough for him. But this season he proved everyone wrong. He proved his critics wrong. He was like, so I'm still here. I can still play for this club. I can still play for this batch. So yeah, I'll definitely give Toni Kroos a solid 9 out of 10 here.
definitely, even I gave him the same ratings. I mean, of course, he's come back to his best, and hopefully next season we can see him perform even better alongside all our rest of the players.
Yeah, definitely.
And so that concludes all our midfield players in this squad. And that also concludes our video. So thank you guys. Thank you for watching us. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, and share this video amongst your footy friends as well. Till then, Hala Madrid.
Madrid.